નમસ્કાર, આપ જોઈ રહ્યા છો ન્યૂઝ18 ગુજરાતી. મુકેશ અંબાણી હાલમાં બોલી રહ્યા છે, ત્યાં જોઈએ.
Energy and electronics are today India's biggest import goods. Finally, green and clean energy ensures better health and better quality of life for everyone on the planet. Therefore, I believe that the transition to new energy will indeed lead to a new earth-friendly industrial revolution.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Earth-friendly industrial revolution. Mukesh bhai, I heard about industrial revolutions that moved from industry 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0 to industry 4.0, but not earth-friendly industrial revolution. Sounds very, very interesting. Can you please explain this grand vision of yours to our audience of Asia Economic Dialogue 2022?
So, Dr. Mashinkar, if we see the trajectory of the first three industrial revolutions, we find that they basically disrupted the harmony between human beings and nature. The economic growth in the past few centuries was premised on the principle of control and exploitation of nature and natural resources, or Earth's resources. In contrast, the transition to green and clean energy represents a disruption of a reverse kind. I think we are now beginning to learn from Mother Nature. Our new energy technologies are mimicking Mother Nature insofar as they convert sunshine and hydrogen in water into electricity. Mother Nature has also created a virtuous carbon cycle in which carbon is not a liability but an asset. In course of time, carbon capture, utilization and storage technologies will attain scale and help reduce the carbon load in the atmosphere. There is another way in which new energy represents an earth-friendly industrial revolution. In the era of fossil fuels, industrial activities are highly centralized. This is because coal and oil are centralized in their origin and have to be transported large distances. In contrast, in the coming era of abundant and affordable clean and green energy with utility-scale battery storage, it is possible to envision that every house, every farm, factory, and habitat could in principle free itself from the grid by generating its own power. The world is also developing technologies that use less land to produce all the more we need. You always say that more from less, and that is what is happening at a world scale all around us, which means we can earmark more land for forests, which also acts as a natural carbon sequester. This is what I mean by the need to transition from industrial revolution to ecological revolution, or the earth-friendly industrial revolution. The vision of an earth-friendly industrial revolution has prompted Reliance to adopt care for the planet along with care for the people as the guiding principle of everything we do in all our businesses and philanthropic activities.
Oh, that is fantastic. And Mukesh bhai, you have often talked about 3Ds, I remember, namely digitalization, decentralization, and decarbonization. And Reliance has been, of course, deeply involved in all 3Ds. But you also always talked about your dream of India that is not a follower, but a leader. India as a leader. Can India emerge as a global new energy leader?
I have absolutely no doubt that India can and India will emerge as a global new energy leader. Just see, right, we were among the first in the world where our renewable energy minister announced a hydrogen policy. While the world is still grappling with this, we have put our vision of exporting green energy out of India on the table. So we are early. I believe our Prime Minister believes in ensuring that this next generation of Indians will not only be self-sufficient and Atmanirbhar in their energy, but India can export green energy. And my optimism and confidence really stems from three further reasons. First, India is a country full of entrepreneurial spirit, innovation, and youth. Second, we now have proactive and forward-looking policy support and action from our government, both at the central and the state level. And third, now have assured financing options. Let me elaborate, Dr. Mashal. I have immense faith in the ability of our young entrepreneurs. They are highly ambitious and highly talented, and I'm fortunate to see a lot of them in action all around. I foresee that at least 20 to 30 new Indian companies in the energy and tech space will grow as big as Reliance, if not bigger, in the next 10 or 20 years. Let me put this in perspective for our audience. It took Reliance about 15 years to become $1 billion company, 30 years to become a $10 billion company, 35 years to become a $100 billion company, and 38 years to touch 200 billion. I have no doubt that the next generation of Indian entrepreneurs will achieve this in half the time. What this also means is that India's community of entrepreneurs will become broader and wealth creation will also become more inclusive. This makes India a more equal nation. Let me make another prediction. India's technology and digital exports have risen to 150 billion from less than 10 billion 20 years ago. By 2030, I believe they will exceed $500 billion. Similarly, India's clean and green energy exports in the next 20 years, at the end of 20 years, also have the potential to have $500 billion of export. In the last 20 years, we were known for India's emergence as an IT superpower. The next 20 years, I believe, will be, along with technology, our emergence as a superpower in energy and life sciences. What is commendable is that the new energy business in India are standing on their own 2 feet with their own entrepreneurship and very little support or basis of any great government subsidies. Technological progress will make energy affordable on the basis of commercial viability, and it will be technology and the entrepreneurial spirit and the new business model that gives values to customers that will drive the business and not government subsidies. And that's encouraging about the new energy opportunities that I see.
Oh, that's, my heart was pumping with talking about this. It is so inspiring, such an awesome vision, Mukesh bhai. But as we know, our feet are on ground, and there is always a concern that technology must be backed up by policy investments. Do you foresee any hurdles there? Of course, you are referred to the progressive policy, but want to just revisit this particular part so that we know how we are going and your views in terms of the future.